And we have our Herald. And one thing that I was highlighting about this newspaper was on right at the top here, there's information about drug and substance abuse toll-free number that you can call if you are in trouble, or if you know anybody who's in trouble, so that they can seek help. There's little highlights as well of stories that we should look forward to. At the back page, it talks about needs, aiming for warrior integration, and there's so much that we actually give you. We give you arts, we give you finance, we give you sport, we give you current affairs. Everything is in this publication, and that is the Herald. And I'm going to read a headline here. President strikes right chord. President Mnangagwa has struck the right chord in the country's development trajectory through the adoption of an inward-looking developmental model that has culminated in the completion of watershed projects like the recently commissioned Trabablas interchange in Harare. And we did hear, touch on one of the top stories talking about how there's going to be mini interchanges all across Harare, and obviously not just in Harare, in our other cities as well. So that is something fantastic to look forward to. And I did read from the finance and business in the first hour, and you know what's exciting? I mean, for people who don't know about the stock exchange, you can get information about the stock exchange, and it will be right here. In fact, I remember telling you guys that this was such a massive newspaper for me, but right now it's very easily accessible. You've got your stock exchange information, trying to understand what is happening in our financial arena. So it's very good. You get your invitation to bids. You can get yourself customized in the business world, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's what the Herald has to offer for you. Well, and not only that, we also have in the arts segment, we've got games, Sudoku. I don't know if you play that. People say Sudoku or Sudoku, whichever it is, tomato.
All I know is I'll beat you at it.
Good for you.
Anyway, let's also look at the H Metro, one of our biggest tabloids here, and you can look at the front page, still follow-ups on that story about that man who got mauled by a pit bull in Bluffel. And maybe this is more of a pictorial headline, and it says, "It's not just a laughing matter. What the hell were you really joking about?" With a picture of the dog owner and a policeman there seemingly laughing as he appeared before the courts. But we do have several other stories as well on the back page. We did touch briefly on Nathan Mutasa, and one of the stories on the back page says Nathan is just a kid trying to excel. I'll just read that for you. It says Nathan Mutasa, the 21-year-old Scotland forward, has been the subject of vicious criticism since the season opened. Some of the criticism appears divorced from football, but is rather personal, and it comes largely from who he is and his family connection. Mutasa has found himself at the heart of a tsunami of criticism, a lot of it bordering on hatred, and not because he is a bad footballer. So you can go on and see this piece from the H Metro.
I mean, speaking about Nathan, you've watched him play. I mean, what's your rating of him? Because, I mean, look, sometimes comments like that are kind of, they kind of put you down. But then he is young, and he's just stepping up, and just as the best players have started in that capacity. What's your take on that?
I think, obviously, when you look at the most recent game, Moors versus Scotland, I think he was a bit below par, not his best game. But you look back to maybe the game against Chickenham, I was actually doing commentary for that. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I noted was that he has got very good positioning. Right. His ability to get in the right positions, especially as a forward player. I think he had about 2 or 3 gilt-edged chances for Scotland. And, you can excuse him maybe not bearing them because he's still quite a bit young. Yeah. And you kind of feel like he has room to grow. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a similar kind of criticism directed towards Tino Benza of Rental Scores. His dad owns the team, and, it's their family team. But I think he's sort of also then grown and actually become his own player. Right. I don't think Nathan is there yet, but I think also a lot of people who are commenting and contributing to this particular story are not even looking at the context of what is happening, because he wasn't called up to the senior national team, which is in Morocco, right, where most of our main players are going, and where we've even seen sort of like a B team. The team that is playing Mauritius today at the COSAFA Cup is a team made up of largely 21-year-olds. I think it's only Martin Mapisa, the goalkeeper, who's been brought in to add a bit of experience, but everybody else is born 2005 and below, just like Nathan is. And a lot of those players are bit part players. I know we've got the second choice goalkeeper from Manica Diamonds who hardly plays a game, but he was called up
to do that.
You know, there's several players who are on the fringes in the Castle Lager Pavement Soccer League, but maybe because they don't have the profile of Nathan Matasa. Obviously, I think it's largely to do with who his mom is and his family connections. I think if he was another 21-year-old who just was in that squad, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I guess also it's part of the celebrity culture that we have, that, you know, because of that familiarity. And
well, I think if he just, you know, digs his boots in, he's going to make a name for himself, as you've mentioned. Other players have done that, and there is room to grow.
I think that's the key thing. I think nobody thinks he has arrived. The very few 21-year-olds in the league right now have arrived, if we can put it that way. It's just that there's a big profile, and I guess question marks will be raised when you're playing for a team like Scotland, and they've got Lino Chukua, who scored 17 goals last season. They've got Taimo Machope, who was one of the key players for Simba Bora and led them to the title last season. And then you have a 21-year-old who's unknown, who gets to start
on the top.
I think that in itself then raises question, and I think the scrutiny becomes greater. How good are you for you to be able to for the coach to put you ahead of this guy? So I think maybe even Scotland themselves, Tundra Ndera, his technical team, and everybody else. Obviously, there's always been speculation that, you know, even the club owner, Scott Sakopanya, might have a hand in who plays, who starts. But I think they might be doing him a disservice. I think they should have just allowed him to be part of that setup and just quietly earn his stripes. But you know what? He seems like a level-headed young man. I hope he doesn't get. I hope he doesn't get affected too much. Like, I don't care who your mother is. I don't care
if you're a good player. You're a good player.
Whether you're from Bulawayo or not. But I think he has to. Right now, he doesn't have the freedom or the luxury to just be like, you know what? I'm going to find my feet because of his high profile and the profile around what's happening and the politicking that's around that. I think he has to grow faster than everybody right now. Which
makes room for greater potential, because if you're trying to prove yourself, you work harder, and you know, you're just trying to make something out of yourself. So I think there is room for him, but you know, let's see as time progresses how that picture is going to show. That